were subtle at first. His strange interest in my interns, the mysterious meetings, the way he'd tried to use my reputation to push through questionable cases. When I finally discovered the truth, that he was part of a trafficking ring using law firms as covers, that he had multiple warrants under different names, that he was trying to frame me for his crimes, it broke something in me. The evidence he'd planted in my files, the carefully orchestrated paper trail leading to my office. If it hadn't been for the security cameras in my building's parking garage, catching him planting evidence in my car at 3 a.m., my career in life would have been over. The investigation cleared my name, but the damage to my spirit was done. 15 years of building my reputation, of being the girl who made it despite the odds, of being the strong one everyone could rely on. It all felt like a cosmic joke. What I didn't know then was that Marcus had been watching me spiral. He later told me he recognized the signs because he'd been there himself. The forced smiles, the gradual withdrawal, the light in my eyes dimming day by day. But I was too lost in my own darkness to notice the way he looked at me. The way he'd started finding reasons to drop by more often. The way his protective instincts had grown into something deeper. I didn't see any of it until that rainy Tuesday when he saved my life. That's a story that still catches in my throat. A moment when everything changed, when the lines between family and something else began to blur. That Tuesday, Marcus was coming to tell me about his latest triumph, being named the chief technology officer at his tech firm, leading their artificial intelligence division. He should have found me ready to celebrate, proud of the man he'd become. Instead, he found me on my kitchen floor, an empty pill bottle beside me, a victim of my despair. I remember fragments of that moment, his voice breaking as he called 911, his hands trembling as he checked my pulse, the way he kept saying, "Please, Elena, please don't leave me," over and over. I didn't know then that he'd been in love with me for years, that every time I called him my nephew felt like a knife in his heart, that he'd watched me date all these wrong men, while wishing he could be the right one. The hospital stay forced me to face more than just my demons. I had to face him, Marcus, who refused to leave my side despite the nurses' protests that only immediate family was allowed. "I am her family," he'd said with such conviction that no one dared argue further. Lilith came too, of course, still in her surgical scrubs, her eyes red from crying. She'd handed over her scheduled surgeries to other doctors, something she'd never done before. The twins stayed with Thomas, while she split her time between my hospital room and her son, who wouldn't go home to rest despite her pleading. "You saved me once," Marcus told me during one of those quiet hospital nights, when the only sounds were the steady beeping of monitors and distant footsteps in the hallway. "Let me save you now." I watched him during those days. The way he'd arranged my pillows, how he made sure I ate, how he coordinated with my law firm to handle my cases while I recovered. Gone was the troubled teen I'd helped guide back to the right path. In his place was a man who commanded respect in his field, who led teams, and who looked at me with eyes that held more than just familial love. It was